Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Just a bit of an impromptu trade talk video because I'm getting a lot of messages on this one and I've been AWOL the last couple of days, just taking some time just to chill. But yeah, I got a lot of DMs and this one's a very interesting one. I know a lot of people have got some thoughts on it. So the latest, we're not going to go through too many. There's only two that really I want to talk about. I'll quickly go over the first one. Dougal Howard, I believe, wants to see out his contract at St Kilda, so that's up in the air whether we want to trade him this season or we just kind of see how things go next season and then decide. So he wants to stay. That's what I've heard. But the big one is obviously Jade Gresham linked to the Bombers, and then obviously the big news that's come from that is what we're potentially going to get coming the other way, which at the moment it's been talked about as a player swap with Dylan Shiel coming the other way. I think we were linked to him before he went to the Bombers, which I was excited about then. Now I'm not really so sure. The best part about this deal, I believe, is that it looks like the Bombers might actually be offering Jade Gresham enough in terms of salary that the compensation could actually be a first round compensation pick, which I think might be pick 13 by the looks. So that could be very, very handy for us. I know we want to move pretty high up in the draft. We don't really have the greatest draft hand, so we're looking at being fairly aggressive and looking at all options, and this would be one where we would absorb Dylan Shiel's salary. I think it's more of a salary cap dump, let's be fair. He's only played the 12 games this season. He was a tactical sub a few times for the Bombers. In a way, he's a bit like Jade Gresham. You know, he's more of obviously a devoted midfielder, and he does fit a need because he's quick, he's explosive, his ball use is obviously a major problem, like Gresh, but he does give us a bit of that outside pace and explosiveness that we have in literally no other midfielder apart from maybe Zach Jones, and even then he can't get on the park enough. Whereas Dylan Shiel probably will get on the park hopefully more times than Zach Jones, but his ceiling, you know, his best is very good, and I think there was a game this season for the Bombers where he was just excellent and best on ground, and then there's a lot of games in between that where he's kind of like, you know, nearly there, getting a lot of high numbers, not really being super effective. But I try to kind of put my hat on like, you know, that's him at the Bombers, but him at the Saints could be a different player, because I've seen what Ross has done with, you know, Mason Wood, who was, you know, supposedly a North Melbourne reject, and now he's one of the best, probably top 5, top 10 wingers in the comp, especially in the first month or two of the season. And then you've got players like Liam Stocker coming into play. Even the way he operated with Cordy in forward and defence for us. You know, there's a number of players that I guess aren't absolute stars, and Ross has really moulded into a serviceable player for us. So someone that does actually have pace and I guess attributes that we would need in the midfield could be something we would be looking at. And obviously the pick coming the other way. So a first round pick, Dylan Shiel, and then we lose Gresh. And it's like, I don't know. Some people think that that's, yeah, they don't want that. Dylan Shiel's past his best, blah, blah, blah. But do we just absorb Dylan Shiel's salary to then get pick 13 basically, or whatever it might be? I can't remember what the pick might be, first round pick. But, you know, if we don't go with that deal, then we don't trade Gresh, we don't get that pick. Are we really just taking Shield to get that pick? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like what Geelong did with, is it Jack Bowes last season? They took his salary because Gold Coast needed a salary dump, but they also got pick 7, I think, or pick 8, whatever it might have been, in return. So they just, and they didn't play Bowes that much. They just got pick 7. So I think that, you know, that could be something that would be of interest for us. There have been some other rumours that I'll quickly talk about, which is obviously Marbio Chol. People think that he's strongly linked to St Kilda. I don't believe that he is, but I'll keep an eye on that for you guys. I know we are looking for another ruck/forward to help with Rowe. And then some people have actually flagged Goldstein. I don't think so. He's past his best. Obviously, for a season, he might be okay, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And the other one was Jack Steele. I didn't think I'd bring his name up in these videos, but people are talking about Jack Steele being trade bait because he's not been happy, he's been injured. He's basically the one player that if we want to get a top draft pick and move really well into the top 10 of the draft this season, he's the only player that we could really afford to lose. that would get us that pick. And I'm thinking, firstly, he's captain. I don't know if he'll be captain next season. I think I'd love to see Cal Wilkie take that and let Steele just play as a mid and let him be. His best football was before he was captain, when you think about it. You can't lose a Cal Wilkie, a Jack Sinclair, or a Max King, or a Rowan Marshall that might get you that sort of compensation. But for an inside mid, you know, they're pretty replaceable. I can see where people are coming from, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's just a bit of fluff in the air. You know, would you get pick one? Would you take pick one and lose Jack Steele? I don't know. Some people will obviously say flatly no. I think doesn't say much about our culture if we're just willing to get rid of our captain, but you've seen it happen before with other clubs. So I don't know, but that's just something I wanted to raise off the bat. I've had a lot of DMs about it, a lot of sayers are freaking out about it. I've touched base with a few pretty serviceable sources over the years that have never been wrong for me, and they've said that that's, not happening. So just thought I'd get that out in the open for you guys so we can not stress too much. But if anything, if there's a massive 360 and that news kind of comes up, I'll let you guys know. But that's kind of what's been most talked about on the channel, and you know, what could possibly happen. I don't know in terms of anything else at the moment, but I think Jordan is probably not going to happen. I'm pretty confident that Liam Henry obviously is going to happen, and Paddy Dow. So those are the two that I think are the closest, you know, that are 95% there, or I think Henry's pretty much 100% there. Dow, wait till Carlton finish up probably tonight if they lose to Brisbane, and then we'll see a lot more of that take care of itself. But in terms of Dougal Howard, I believe he wants to stay. And then you've got rumours like this Jack Steele one that I think is probably just, a rumour. And then the big one, which is Jade Gresham to the Bombers. Dylan Shiel comes the other way, and hopefully a first-round draft pick based on what Essendon want to pay Gresh. So I'll keep a close eye on that, Saners, but that's just a quick video. Let me know what you think of the whole situation in terms of getting Dylan Shiel. Do you think we can use him for a season? Is it worth it? Get the first-round compensation for Gresh. Use that to draft a good kid. Is it worth it in the end? On the surface, it seems like it does, but I just don't know. Is Dylan Shiel, is he a starting midfielder for us? I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. Any other rumours, any other things that you're hearing that you want me to try and confirm, put them in the comments and we'll create a discussion in the next Trade Talk video. But until then, Saners, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, go you mighty Saners. See you guys.